I like the way this is going. This is turning into quite a cabaret. I have no clue what's going to happen next. So we have got some more speeches. It is my pleasure to now welcome up the Queen of the Castle, my sister-in-law, Ray Stevenette.
Okay, that's better. You will be very grateful to know I am not planning to sing. But Dad, that was beautiful. Honestly, so beautiful. I know it's not traditional for the bride to give a speech, but I just couldn't pass by the opportunity to address a room which is filled with all the people that I love. There are much clearer guidelines, although you can, of course, go off-piste, for the traditional speeches. And after I'd written the first draft of my bridal speech, I wondered what it was supposed to entail. So I had a little search on Google to see what I ought to say. And Google's response was, seriously, ideally nothing. But if you really must speak, keep it as brief as possible. Under 3 minutes, whatever you do, make sure that you don't say anything which might affect the mood of the room for the important speeches. I promptly ignored the stupid advice, of course, so I hope you're feeling comfortable. This will last more than 3 minutes. I think that these rites of passage, they offer us rare moments of clarity in the rush of our modern lives. They're a chance to pause for a moment, reflect, and really feel, and to express that. And so I have things to say on my wedding day. And I want to start off by echoing my dad and saying thank you all so much for being here. I know some of you have moved mountains to make it into this room, and it's honestly so humbling to see a lifetime of loved ones gathered in one place. The past is almost palpable today. My past, your pasts. It's as though they're woven into a beautiful tapestry, and it does feel possible just today to zoom out a little and to get a sense of the whole picture of our lives. And so it really does mean everything to us, to be able to acknowledge publicly today how wildly privileged we are that you all are our friends and family. That you are the threads of our past, this present, and our futures. As many of you know, I love books, stories, the written word in general. And I particularly love letters, the most beautiful and personal form of communication, in my opinion. And a few weeks ago, as we were sorting out our house in Congo, getting ready to move back to London in a few weeks' time, I stumbled across this gem. It's written on the unusual combination of that free card that the Red Cross puts through your door, and a couple of very odd-sized scraps of paper, ending in a random scrap of card which is signed The Island Man. No prizes for guessing who he was. The letter was written in 2013, which was 2 years before Tom and I were to start dating. And in his letter, Tom urges me to travel as much as possible before the possessive love of my life comes along and removes all opportunities to see the world. Not the best fortune telling for me there, Tom. However, he does somewhat redeem his crystal gazing skills when he writes that in addressing my envelope, he accidentally gave me the title Mrs. Rachel Corden, and wondered whether this should be considered but a slip of the pen, or whether it is, in fact, something altogether more prescient, prophetic even, profound, perhaps. On days like today, the past does feel profound. Today is a threshold day, a transitional day. I look to the future with anticipation, and I cradle the past in my heart with love. I awoke this morning a Corden, and I go to sleep tonight as a Stephenette. And I am so blessed to gain a second family in the Stephenettes. Those of you who know them will know that I am not exaggerating when I say that I have gained the most loving mother and father-in-law, a better bunch of brothers than anyone deserves, grandparents who've made us a fantastic cake for our wedding day, thank you Martin, and the most amazing aunts, uncles, cousins and sisters-in-law on top of all that. I'm glad to be a Stephenette, which doesn't mean that I won't also always be a Corden. Mum, Dad, Glenn, with you I spent a happy childhood. Card games under wet canvas, picnics in the back of the car with the rain pouring down, picnics inside clouds, picnics inside bushes with raincoats over us. Because whatever life threw at us, and as you also gathered from my dad's speech, it mostly threw rain, we weathered it together, and what's more, we had fun. You taught me always to find the joy in life, not just on perfect days like today, but on the day-to-day, the rainy days, the dull days, the days where you're feeling a bit down. You showed me that being together with people who you love beautifies life. Mum and Dad, you are the best model of a marriage that I have ever seen. I have never for a day in my life doubted your complete and utter love for one another and for me. And I can only hope that Tom and I will be half as happy together as you have shown me it's possible to be. Thank you for everything. I love you completely. There are some people, of course, who are unable to be with us today, but whose spirit I nonetheless feel today and every day. Many of you in this room will have known my nan, Gwen Corden. And if you knew her, you probably loved her, because what else could you have done? I hope each day that I can embody even a little of her selfless spirit, her unconditional love which sought never to gain, but only to give, not to smother, but to set free, and Pops in whose presence I could simply be. This very building, these grounds, we passed so many happy days together. Nan and Pops, everything reminds me of you. Not a day goes by where I don't think of you and love you and wish that you could be here. Today, more than ever. My grandmother Sylvia, I never knew, but I believe you don't have to have known someone to know their love. When I was a child, I would lie on the sofa in our living room, looking at her photo, speaking to her in my heart. I'm sure she would be so proud of the way her family are today, how we trust unquestioningly in one another's love and support. I'm so grateful to have grown up with such fabulous family, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to thank you all. Grandpa obviously can't be here this evening, but it was so special to have him at the service this morning, and I know he's proud of all of us. Of course, is not only family whose threads weave together the picture of our lives, and this hall is filled with our wonderful friends from childhood, from Durham, from Congo, from all the places of our lives. You enrich our existence every single day. When I look around this room, I'm overcome with memories of laughter, late nights out, drinking cups of tea when we were supposed to be writing essays and sketchy trips outside of Kinshasa. I love you all. And a special mention to my bridesmaids, the best friends I could ask for. A particular mention to Nicole. Put this in my speech when I thought you couldn't make it, and I'm so glad that you're here. Nicole, from the very first day at university when you knocked on my door, bleary-eyed, and asked if I wanted to go to breakfast even though you hate mornings. I have been blessed by your friendship, and I know that for me, and for many people in this room, you are the model of how to get friendship right. And a special mention also, of course, to my maid of honour, Caitlin. Caitlin, we danced side by side through our childhoods, as we danced through life. We used to literally tie ourselves together with rope because we didn't want to be parted. You've always been a sister to me, and I am beyond honoured to have you by my side today. But there is one person, of course, without whom this day would not exist. Which brings me back. Sometimes, when we're out at a party and Tom is, over there somewhere socialising at 110%, I take a moment just to observe, as though I'm on the outside, as if I hadn't met him yet. And I can tell you exactly what you would see if you were to do the same. You would see a man who is filled with that energy for life, which is so attractive about fully alive people. You would see someone around whom there was camaraderie and laughter, someone who sought to balance the conversation, to bring others in, who listened genuinely, because people truly matter to him. The world is a brighter, better place when Tom is around.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe my luck that I get to bask in his glow for all the days of our lives. Tom, contrary to your predictions, my life, because of you, has turned into a bigger adventure than I could ever have imagined. A life by your side means a life filled with love. Love for family, love for friends, and love for each other. And so, I've forgotten my drink, but I would like to propose a toast to family, friends, and Tom. Family, friends, and Tom. Thank you.